guitars hanging out with my normal Wednesday live Q&A. Some of you guys might have seen the live from yesterday with my special guest, Mr. Andy James, where we kicked off and launched the brand new AJ2 model. There is a page holder on the website, so if you do kieselguitars.com/AJ2, you can check out the new Andy James model. It is a pre-order model, meaning you can order it now. It's 12 to 16 weeks, just like a normal build. We don't have the official web pages up because Andy finally approved the final rendition of the guitar yesterday. So, we're still needing to build final models of the 6-string and the 7 with the hip shot as well. I didn't want to build up a bunch of guitars and then he's like, oh, I need you to make these changes. So I was pretty sure he would like the final version, but wasn't 100%. And I didn't want to go put us in an awkward situation. So today we're going to be doing a deal of the hour like normal. And I have a customer guitars and a customer bass to show off. And then we'll do questions. Also have this new little spinny wheel thing, which I guess I'm supposed to spin and do what the hell it says. We will see how that goes. But I'm going to kick off my deal of the hour first. I've got my little notes on what the hell this is, what all the options are. So this is an Osiris 6-string with a trim. I'm going to let this guitar go with a case, shipped right to you for $1,400. I priced it out earlier and it came to almost $1,700. So it's a hell of a deal. So Osiris 6-string with trim, traditional sunburst. It's on an alder body, has a roasted maple neck and fretboard, as you can see there. Black inlays. Let's see, fret size. Regular stainless, medium jumbos. 14-inch radius, beryllium bridge, beryllium neck. It has something pretty cool. It's got a 3-way lever. And it's got a push-pull, I guess, on the tone. So that way you can get 6 positions, right? So you're going to have humbucker, dual humbucker, humbucker in the neck, and then by pulling up, it makes them all singles in all the positions. So it gives you 6 positions. Really cool. Definitely a rad guitar. Really nice neck on this one. Of course, these are quarter saw necks, just like all Kiesels are. And the fretboard's quarter sawn. The Beryllium pickups are a great fit for the look of this guitar. So in my mind, it's going to sound more like it looks. It's not going to be this higher output, modern sounding guitar. It's going to be a more relaxed, tamed down, classic sounding guitar. Still in a modern package, but with a more classic look. So if this interests you, you can call my guys and you can grab the deal of the hour. If you don't get the deal of the hour during the hour, then it goes onto the in-stock page at the normal full price. So it's a way for you to get an exact guitar that's shown off on the live for a hell of a deal. So that is deal of the hour. And again, why we say deal of the hour is it's only good while we're live for the hour. Customer guitars. All right, here we go. We're going to do this neck through Aries first. Let's see who this is. This is Robert Livingston, and check this out. I got a completion date on this of March 1st. What's the date today, guys? It's February the 3rd. You know why I know that? It's my dad's birthday today. I know our social media crack team over there with my son at the helm of making sure we do these different dates has already said happy birthday to Grandpa on there, right?
I mean, he's not going to see it.
Oh, dang. The president of the company, not even getting a birthday shout out from the guy that's in charge of dates. Zach is supposed to be making sure we do all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure we're going to see a happy birthday to the man, Mr. Mark Keysel. So it is my dad's birthday today. So that's really cool. I'll tell a little Mark story when I'm done showing these off. So Robert Livingston. So we got a neck through Aries multi-scale 7. Caliburst on a poplar top. It's a black Caliburst, a trans black. And we have the thin neck profile. Beautiful neck. Beautiful black Limba body. I love all this extra little streaking in there. Look at that angle shot right there. Just so gorgeous. Royal Ebony fretboard. It's got the little crescent moon in there. A black crescent moon. Very subtle, but really cool. Of course, you got the Poplar matching headstock, gold pole pieces, gold hardware, and gold logo. Yep, drop shadow gold logo. Raw tone finish, so it's got the more open grain. You can just really feel the texture of this wood, which we call it raw tone because it's got a very raw look, and it's still going to have the fullest, most natural tone that the wood is going to have itself. So very cool guitar. So very early on that, as I was saying before, we're trying to get caught up. We're quoting the 12 to 16 weeks, and in some cases, we're a month early. Crazy. We'll save the bass for last. All right, here we go. We got J Racy, and this one here is a trans purple semi-chrome. Can you guys really tell like how purpley this is and how you guys? It's not, the camera's not picking it up.
It looks a little blue on camera.
Yeah, it does look blue, but can you get the at least the mirror look?
Mm-hmm.
Instagram looks pretty fine.
Yeah, see, I don't know what it is about these, but when I take pictures of the purple ones, even outside, they look blue. This is totally purple. It's not blue at all, but it's absolutely gorgeous, the semi-chrome finish. And we got this guy on here without a trim cover. Pretty cool. It's an Aries bolt-on, so it's cool. We got the Aries neck through, the Aries bolt-on. Fishman's in this. Black ebony fretboard. Staggered offset dots, looks like stainless jumbo frets, black chrome hardware, just a silver logo looks like, and the single one-piece quarter sawn maple neck. Just a gorgeous guitar. So things like backplate cover delete we can do. So just call the guys if you something you're wanting, something off menu. My guys can do that kind of stuff. And the date on this, it was 1/8, so we were late on this one. So sometimes that happens, all right? So we got one we're a month early and one we're almost a month late on. And the bass. Let's see if I can get that out of here without knocking Jay's guitar over. All right, there we go. So this one is, wow. So how random is this? So I grabbed the bass. Who grabbed the Aries with the poplar top? Brandon did. And I also grabbed this purple guitar. We have one month late. We have one month early. And this one, no bullshit, today. 2-3. How crazy is that, right? So we're averaging on time with that. This is for Eluse Chen. I don't know if I got that right. So it is a white bass on this instrument with a blood red splatter finish. It's a Vanquish multi-scale 4-string bass. Very cool bass. It's got the singles on this one, single coil pickups. We can either do singles or the humbuckers and the radius. And something we do here is we continue the angle of our pickup that matches the fan. And the reason why is if you look at where the saddle is, on these, you want to make sure your pickup is maintaining that same distance, because if it's straight, you're going to get a different tone on your high strings versus your low strings. It's got the active electronics, Royal Ebony fretboard, staggered offset abalone dots, and is that a gold logo? No, black logo. It's hard to see with the lighting sometimes. Very cool bass. Everybody should have at least one multi-scale bass in their arsenal, because with multi-scale, it does make the most sense on bass because of the tension, right? I'm going to actually stand up so I don't knock shit over. All right, and what do we want to do? Do we want to do questions now? Is that the thing, or do I spin the wheel of death?
I think Zach wants that in place of like when we normally start speed questions. You spin that and it decides like the last 10 minutes.
There's speed questions on there.
Got it. Okay. Nobody told me. They just put the damn wheel in here. I'm supposed to know. Just like when they start, I'm supposed to know.
You said you had a Mark story.
I got a Mark story. See? There we go. My dad, he took over the company, the guitar department, in 1970, and he was 20 years old. My dad was born in 1950. So at the time, my uncle Carson was running the company with my grandfather, and it was just the two of them, and they had some employees. And they came to my dad and said, hey, we're going to stop making guitars. So my dad was up in LA, and they were down here not too far from where we are. We're in Escondido, and they were down in Valley Center. So it's pretty close to us, about 10 minutes away. My dad quit his job as a drafting engineer to come down to Valley Center, leaving LA, to take over the guitar department because they were going to not make guitars anymore. And really, if it wasn't for my dad doing that, that company would have never gone on. Carvin would have not gone on to what it was, and obviously to where we are now. So realizing the importance, not just of my grandfather, my grandfather obviously was very important to where we are starting the company to begin with, but my dad not allowing my uncle, who had no interest in guitars, to stop making them. My dad didn't know what the future fate was going to be and took a big risk. At the time, had a great paying job. He was a drafting engineer with a big company, and here he leaves, at 20 years old, and made this company what it is. Allowed the opportunity for us to take it to the next level, and evolve it, making new models, new options, new features for you guys. But just really cool, that he took that chance, and then turned our custom shop into a custom shop, offering, finishes, different bridges, different woods. My dad was one of the first people to start using Coil wood, used a lot of Floyd Rose products back in the day. Worked with a lot of cool people, Jason Becker, Marty Friedman, Stevie Ray Vaughan, a lot of different people over the years, my dad got to meet and work with, and just a great guy. It is his birthday today, so that's really cool. He's not in today. He comes in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I think he went to play golf today, so that's cool that he's out playing golf on his birthday. But why don't we open up for some questions, and let's kick it off.
All right, Kenneth is asking, what is the difference between the CS3 and CS6?
It would be a top. So a CS6 has a flame maple top. It's got the body binding effect. But as far as the shape of the model and everything, they're the same model. It's just the 6 is loaded with more options.
Andy is asking, what's up, Jeff and Kiesel team? Any rough idea how far along a neck-through build would be around 4 weeks in?
What's up, dude? We would be, probably getting ready to glue body sides on. If not, we've already glued them on. Somewhere right around there.
Why was the king only 12 inches tall?
Why was the king only 12 inches tall? Shit. This is probably something stupid, but I can't. It's a joke. Have something to do with inches or something? What is the answer?
He was the ruler.
Oh, he was the ruler. I knew it was something like so simple that I'm thinking so far into it. Damn you, you tricked me. Way to go.
Alan is wondering, will you guys ever make a standard V model?
No plans for that, no.
Saw Andy James putting away the Corona. Did he drink you out of house and home?
No, he doesn't drink that much, really, to be honest. It's very easy house guest, actually.
Will you guys bring back or do an unlimited run of the 80s carbon shape with its original headstock?
No plans for that. You're actually the first person to ask me that, ever.
Tim is wondering, hey Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Goto 510 trim and your father's single coil pickups?
I think they're a great combination together. And the Goto trim doesn't need to go on a classic sounding guitar. I think the big thing with the Goto is people that use a trim but maybe have a tendency to rest their palm on the trim need something more like a Goto, because the Keysel trim moves so freely and so effortlessly that some people that palm rest can really bend, out of tune just by palm resting, because the Kiesel trim moves so good. So people that are wanting a trim that works great, has great action. It returns to 0 really good as far as pitch, but they want a little more resistance. I think those people get along with a 510 a little better. So there's totally different players. Like you got Jesse, he doesn't want a 510. Brandon maybe can go both ways. I don't know. And some of our Kiesel artists, Charlie Robbins loves the 510, and the Kiesel trim was a little too sensitive for him. But then you go to like Al Joseph, loves the Kiesel trim. So, there's all kinds of players out there, and it just depends on what their interests are. Greg Howe is one that loves the Kiesel trim.
Question from Alan. He's asking, how much was the deal of the hour?
Deal of the hour is $1,400 with a case shipped right to you.
What are the benefits of a multi-piece neck versus a single-piece neck?
Well, by having multiple pieces, let's say one piece of wood wants to move, hypothetically. Let's say that it's reacting to the humidity in the air and it wants to move. Well, if you have a one-piece neck and that one piece decides it wants to move, it's going to put more pressure and tension on the truss rod and the carbon fiber rods. It still might not move at all or very much because of our necks and what we do to them. But if you have a 7-piece, a 3-piece, a 5-piece, and one piece wants to move, you have the other ones keeping it in check. So it gives you just more stability.
Jonathan Gard is asking, hey Jeff, did the 5-piece walnut and mahogany neck get discontinued?
It did. It sure did.
Lee is asking, hey Jeff, what's the closest model you have to the DC series from the Carbon days?
Well, the DC series is from the Carbon days, so the DC series.
Can you still do Pale Moon Ebony fretboards?
Absolutely, it's a call-in option.
Steve is asking, can we elect to forego the preamp? If so, what would be done in its place?
I don't understand the relevance of the question or how it pertains. Are we talking about no controls? Are we talking about a guitar? Are we talking about a bass? Are you talking about no active? You want passive? I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. I need a little more information than that. But you can call my guys to get it answered.
Jackie is asking, which trim system would you recommend for heavy-duty dive bombing, tuning stability, and playability between the Kiesel Hipshot trim or a Floyd Rose?
I'd still go with the Kiesel Hipshot.
I ordered a jet black raw tone layout that should be arriving this week. Any tips on how to care or maintain a raw tone finish?
Wash your hands really good. Wipe it down when you're done playing. I mean, those are really going to be your best bets. Car care products that are for satin finishes, you could put on lightly on a rag and just wipe down the guitar with. They have to be for satin matte finishes, though. Don't use anything for a gloss finish on a satin or a raw tone. It'll ruin it. It'll shine. It'll polish it up.
Scott is wondering, is it possible to get a 22 fret neck on a Atheos?
No, it's not. You have to get a Delos for that. Actually, do we do a 22?
Uh-huh. You do a 22 foot, yes.
Damn. I guess we do. I looked at Brandon, and Brandon kind of like looked at me. So I guess we do. I mean, we don't do a lot of Theos guitars, and I can't remember the last time I've seen a 22 fret.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Typically, the players that are buying the Theos guitar are typically wanting 24 frets, right? And the guys that are buying Delos, a lot of them are getting 22 frets in this, obviously in a 6-string. But yeah, we do a 6-string 22 Theos.
Bruno is asking, what would be lighter between an alder body with a maple neck or a mahogany body and mahogany neck?
Mahogany body and neck are going to be lighter.
Are 4 pickups possible on a guitar?
It's not something we offer, no. I mean, unless you want to count these as 2. So you already got 4 then, technically.
Sergio is asking, what exactly is a Kiesel rapid play neck?
Oh man, rapid play was something like super old, we used to say. It's really just the way we set up our action, the way that our neck is shaped. We feel that it allows you to play what we would call rapid. That's not something we've used for a very long time as far as marketing. I don't even know if it's on the website anywhere. If it is, it's not something we're currently saying, but I think it was something clever maybe my dad thought of back in the day.
When can I get a multi-scale extended range V?
It's no plans on that, man. The only thing I can think of is you can get a Type X would be the closest, or a Hyperdrive as a multi-scale. You can get those.
Is it too late to get the Sophie Lloyd guitar?
Yeah, that's sold out.
Austin is wondering, can you explain the difference between the beryllium and lithium pickups? What type of magnets do they use?
So the lithiums are all going to be using Alnico 5, which is a more modern sound. And the berylliums are going to use an Alnico 2, which is an unoriented magnet, and it's got a more vintage style tone. The windings are different on each of them. The pole pieces are different on each of them. And all of that takes effect on the overall sound.
Which pickup that is available with a hyperdrive would be best for new metal?
New metal, I mean, you can either go with the Polarity Actives, because we can do those on the hyperdrive. You can leave the lithiums in there. You can add a thorium in the bridge, or an illusionist pickup in the bridge.
How often do you do those deals like the Sunburst headless earlier?
We do deal of the hour once a week, and it's for 1 hour. And this is still available, so if you haven't bought it, call my guys.
Jason is asking, do you have any particularly spicy master grade tops that would pair well with a mahogany body for both tone and aesthetics?
You know it.
Will you elaborate on what you mean by real mahogany?
Real mahogany. So from Honduras, Honduran mahogany. There's a lot of other mahoganies out there where people will call them Philippine mahogany. So it's a tree grown in the Philippines that looks like mahogany. So people cleverly will call it mahogany even though it's not mahogany at all. So you got to be careful when you're buying mahogany woods out there. They're not all what they say they are. So the original, the real mahogany is Honduran mahogany. It's very expensive. It sounds amazing and it looks great, right? So you're getting all of that. And a lot of more of the overseas builders, they're not using that, right? They're selling it on a price point. I mean, you look at the guitar and you go, okay, it's in Guitar Center or Musician's Friend for $800. I mean, they're not going to be able to buy Honduran mahogany and build a guitar with stainless steel frets, and it's not going to play like one of ours. You know, that same guitar is going to be $1,300 from us, which is a hell of a deal still, but they're selling it on price, right? And they're being clever with their marketing. You know, it's like some companies will advertise made in the USA, and all they did is they, you know, put a nut on it, restrung it up, threw some of their pickups in it, and it's made in America. That's bullshit. That's not made in America. Maybe set up in America, but you guys got to be careful out there with what you're getting. I mean, when we say made in America here, everything is made in America. And we're getting woods from all over the world, and some of our hardware does come from overseas, like our proprietary tuners on our traditional headstock models. But a lot of our hardware, like the bridges and stuff, either Germany, the Floyd Rose, or the Hipshot stuff, you know, is made in New York. But then everything's made here. All of our inlays are done here. You know, we cut everything out of the fretboard. All of our fretboards are cut in-house. The fret wire's from Germany. But all of our woods, you know, everything is done here. I don't pre-buy necks. We're not getting a shipment of these necks and then we're just slapping them on bodies. I mean, we make everything here. It's a big deal.
Hey Jeff, we know Koa is getting rare. What about other woods? Are we okay for the foreseeable future?
Swamp ash is getting hard to get. You know, I've been harping on that one for a while about letting you guys know if you want a swamp ash build, I would get one in. At some point, you know, I'm going to have to raise my price. It's just going to keep going up because as I have a harder time getting it. Black Limba, we've run into issues with getting Black Limba. Pale Moon Ebony has always been one. And then, of course, Koa.
Scott Janzer, is there a difference between trans black burst and trans black Caliburst?
What's up, Scott? So a Caliburst is typically going to be a little thinner burst, where a regular trans black burst might be a little thicker burst around the perimeter.
How stable is a Purple Heart for neckwood?
Well, as far as a streamer in a neckwood, it's great. For neckwood on its own, we don't offer it because it's very heavy.
Both of my guitarists have been begging me to get a multi-scale bass for my next Keysel. Besides the tension you were talking about, what are the perks of having a multi-scale?
Really, it's just going to be the tension, right? By having the multi-scale, it allows each string to be pulled to the proper tension. And for bass, it does make the most sense, right? 8-string guitar, 7-string guitar, and bass are a bigger deal to have a multi-scale. Drop tunings, of course, it's all going to be better for all of that.
Tim is asking, what would be the specs for the ultimate stable neck?
What I think is anything with walnut in it. I like the way they feel. Personally, I like the way they look too. Walnut 7-piece with maple and purple heart, a walnut 5-piece, maybe with some purple heart in it or maple. Or the 3-piece necks, even our single-piece walnut, they're great necks. And, I was showing the guys around. Andy was here with his tech yesterday, Andy James, and they were blown away by how many walnut necks we were making. We do a lot of walnut necks. And I've seen a lot of other companies start offering walnut necks, and I didn't see them offering them before.
Hey Jeff, when would it be more beneficial to have a 27-inch baritone scale versus multi-scale?
That one would be more beneficial based on the player, the playing style. You do a lot of tapping. I would say, having a traditional scale, it could be better for you. It's really going to come down to your personal preference as far as where you're at on the fretboard. Do you look down a lot? And if you look down a lot, and you're looking at your fretboard dots, not the side dots, but the top dots, I would say a player like that might benefit more from being just a standard straight scale.
Do you build your lefties any different than you do for your right-handers?
Nope. All the same. It just takes us longer, because we don't do it nearly as many, and so it's all this, the instrument's backwards, so where you would normally be resting your arm and working on it, it's exactly opposite. So it's harder, but we don't charge any extra.
Derek is asking, can you do chrome or gold truss rod covers or single coil covers?
No, we don't do any chrome or gold pickups or truss rod covers.
Nick is asking, did you buy any Gamestop stocks?
I don't know what stocks I have, to be completely honest. I have a guy that handles that for me. The last thing that I need and you guys need is me focusing on my stock portfolio while I'm at work. That's the reality. Like, if I was so worried about it, it would get in my way of my day-to-day, and I don't pay attention. I get a phone call from my advisor. At the end of the month, he tells me how much I'm up. He does a great job, and it's very rare that we're down. Because he's a professional, that's what he does. He does make money off of it, but he's going to do a better job than I am. So I honestly don't know what stocks I have. He has some guidelines of things that I won't support financially, and he has to stay away from certain things. But other than that, I honestly don't know what I have.
What is the ETA on a Leia currently? Standard specs.
12 to 16 weeks is what we're quoting on all instruments right now.
Darius is wondering, I'm late. I'm guessing the one to the left of Jeff is the deal of the day.
Deal of the hour. It's $1,400 shipped in a soft case. And it's actually deal of the next 25 minutes probably, because we're more than halfway through our live, I think.
What do you think is the optimal scale length for a 7-string guitar?
I think 25.5 is great. I don't see any reason to go longer than that unless you're really drop tuning.
Stay Metal Ray is asking, what inspires you to get up and do what you do every day? As an established company, what inspires you to keep pushing and growing?
What's up, Ray? Man, I guess I always strive for more and for better. I'm self-driven in that way where it's never good enough. Anything I'm into, it's just literally never good enough. Like racing, I mean, I've won a bunch of championships, automotive racing, and some years I've won by 5 seconds, which is an eternity in racing. It really is. But I can always find ways to improve my car, my setup, the packaging of the car. It's no different with a guitar. It's we're always striving for better here, and I guess it's just the pursuit of perfection and not being happy, not settling. Having that, having the perfectionism. I guess really kind of like disease, if you will, where nothing's ever good enough. So the downside of all that is when nothing's ever good enough, you don't take compliments well. You are not satisfied, and so you always feel like you can do better, and it sucks, a lot of times. But on the flip side, it pushes you harder. You're just never satisfied. So I'm trying to get better at things like, when I feel like I don't do my best at something personally, outside of work, and someone says good job, I'm like, oh no, I should have done this, should have done that, and it's like, I understand, from a racing standpoint, and what I do behind the wheel, from what, a professional musician, would, when you talk about what a great job, and then they're automatically criticizing themselves. And I think being able to criticize yourself and step back and look at everything and go, well, we're going to do this and fix what's wrong. And I think that's the biggest thing that, the pursuit of perfection, that's it. That's all I can really say. And anything I do in life that's it. I want to be kind of the best at it, or I don't want to do it at all. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Justin Lubers, can you get a KTB on scalloped fretboards?
What's up, Justin? Yeah, that's something we could do. Yeah.
Steven is asking, what wood combination would be the lightest for a 5-piece neck on a Vader?
5-piece neck. I don't remember if we do the 5-piece mahoganies anymore. I don't think we do. Anything with mahogany in it is going to be lighter. Mahogany is the lightest neck wood we make. So if we do a 5-piece mahogany maple, I don't remember if we do that. There's so many, options over the years that we've had to discontinue because of, adding other things. But the 5-piece with mahogany is going to be the lightest.
Do you prefer gloss or satin for splatter finishes?
Gloss.
Scott Janzer, for blood splatter, which version of white and red is your favorite? From picks, my favorite is Diamond Pearl White with blood and Ferrari.
That's a cool look. I like just what this is right here. It's white with blood red over it. That's my favorite. Classic white looks cool. It's a little more of a creamy look. Definitely more old school metal looking, but I do like, the more contrast. So I would go personally without the Diamond Pearl White, even though it does look cool. I prefer just the white.
Jared is asking, any suggestions on woods to prevent neck dive?
Okay, so heavier body wood, lighter neck. I mean, I don't know what model. If it's a headless, don't even worry about it. But if it's a traditional model, headstock shape can also affect that. So any of the inline headstocks, they're going to have more neck dive. And when I say more, if you have an Aries, don't even worry about it. It's not going to be a problem. Even Dean Lamb with his big old freaking, murder weapon headstock, he's still fine, doesn't have any neck dive. So, anyhow, I don't know if Dino's in here or not.
How are the split sounds on the Lithiums? Love what you guys do.
Oh, thanks. They're awesome, actually. I think they're one of our better sounding pickups split. They're really good.
Edgar is asking, would you still say no to working with one of the woods that you don't like working with?
Yeah.
Mario is asking, I recently bought an AM7. Do the new Kiesel active pickups fit inside multi-scale guitars?
They do. Absolutely, yeah.
What's up, man? Tell me about the Osiris. That Osiris.
Oh, it's my deal of the hour. I already went over the specs earlier, and it's kind of self-explanatory on the look, but you want more information. It's $1,400 shipped with a case, and you can call my guys to grab it. If not, you can wait for it to get added to the in-stock section sometime later this week and buy it for a higher price.
Jay is asking, is there such thing as a completely flat fretboard, or does every fretboard have a radius?
So we don't offer a flat fretboard. Some companies do. It's not something we offer. The flattest we're willing to go is a 20-inch radius.
Spencer is asking, do you offer an electric pickup on the Zeus Acoustic?
We do not.
I need a light guitar that's under 6.6 pounds. Is this possible?
Absolutely, yeah. We've done headlesses down in the 5-pound range, 5.0.
Eric is wondering, will customizations ever expand to options such as headstock shape?
We do have different headstock shapes you can pick, but you wouldn't be able to draw your own headstock if that's what you're asking. We have lots of different headstocks you can pick from.
Do you offer any repair work to older carving guitars?
We do repair work, but we don't do refinish work. So repair, yes. Refinish, no.
Why is there no bevel on the Delos?
Because it's the Delos. Because we have the Aries and all kinds of models of Bevels.
Brian Maurer, yo, Kiesel, do you folks take custom orders?
All day long, man. That's all we do.
Is it possible to get a big neck profile like a Les Paul?
Yep, get the double thick like Brandon Ewing does.
Mm-hmm.
Double thick with a 20-inch fretboard radius and jumbo frets.
Do you have a Neil Zaza signature?
We do. Do you have one? Would be the question.
Raul Torres, hey Jeff, full Wenge necks?
No plans on Wenge at all. Yeah, it's not a wood I want to use.
Do you ship to Europe?
All day long. Actually, we ship probably to Europe somewhere between 5 and 10 guitars a week.
John is asking, have you considered or would you consider making multi-scale tremolos an option?
If someone made a good trem system for multi-scale, I would use it, but nobody in my mind makes a good system. Nothing that I want to take your hard-earned money over.
Would you consider offering a model with a Sustainiac pickup?
No plans for that.
Kayla King, hey Jeff, any promotions going on currently or maybe coming up soon?
What's up, KK? No promos. We're so backed up in the custom shop that we're working a lot of overtime just to try to get out from under how backed up we are. So the situation I'm in is if I run a promo, I'm shooting myself in the foot. So, and we don't run a lot of promos anyway. We've done like a May the 4th promo. We've done some 4th of July promos, but we don't really have any holidays coming up. So I don't see any promos coming up anytime soon, to be honest.
What would you recommend for preventing a fret sprout?
Humidity, right? So you want to try to control that. That's what happens with fret sprout is you'll have the environment the neck's built in. We try to keep it about 40% here. You're probably from somewhere like Arizona or somewhere where it's very low humidity, very desert-like. And if it gets really low moisture level, the fretboard shrinks and the frets don't, right? They're steel, they're not going anywhere. And so you feel that. And the best way is to try to keep your instruments somewhere around 40%. So if you have a way to control your humidity, that's going to help a lot. In wintertime, you're inside and you're running your heater a lot, that dries the air out big time.
Is it possible to get a Solo 6 with a top wood but arm cut instead of a bevel?
Yeah, we do arm cutaways. Yeah.
Gabriel is wondering, do you think lowering the action on a 2-pivot tremolo ruins the contact point if done with strings on and in tension? Yeah,
it's always best not to. You know, it's going to, especially like on a Floyd, it can start to dull the knife edging. I wouldn't recommend doing a lot of it. If you did a fine adjustment really quick, it's probably okay, but I wouldn't be doing a lot of turning on that.
Fabian is asking, what does the Kiesel warranty cover and how long does it last?
It's a 5-year warranty against any manufacturer's defects. So anything that really goes wrong with the instrument, we're going to cover.
Could you make me a custom guitar with EMGs?
Absolutely. You got to send them in, but yeah, call my guys.
John is asking, how much weight relief does chambering a CS6 with a mahogany result in?
About a half a pound, which is significant.
Have you ever had to refret a guitar with stainless steel frets?
Not that I can remember, no.
I'm gonna butcher this, but what's up with Nyato wood?
What?
Nyato wood?
I don't know what that is.
Jim is asking, anything in the works for a 75th anniversary? I want to order another Kiesel, but I don't want to if there's something special coming.
No, I mean, there's not. And guys, if I had a new model coming, I wouldn't tell you anyway, just to be completely honest. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, wait a month until the next model. I mean, you guys got to know, like, I'm never going to tell you, yeah, I'm in the middle of the next big thing. Wait, 2 months to buy a guitar. I just flat out would never tell you guys that, just being honest. But I don't have anything in the works for a 75th. I've had some of the guys talking about things and suggesting some things, and it's got to be something that I think of or I want to do on my own. And so far, I don't have anything that's like got me going. And really, our 75th isn't until August. So I know it started our 75th the beginning of this year technically, but we had made our 75th August. So August we will be in our 75th. That would be like our actual celebration, if you will.
Ryan is asking, if COVID wasn't going on, can people come in and try different guitars?
That's what we did prior to COVID, but with COVID, no, you can't.
Can the new AJ2 be ordered with a top wood and chambering?
No chambering, but yes on a top wood. Yeah, Andy straight up said he does not want them chambered. Okay, done, no problem.
Colin is wondering, is the neck profile on a CT 624 different than the profile on the bolt-ons?
Yes.
Joe is asking, I want a custom lefty. Roughly how much would that be?
On average, our guitars are running about $2,100. They start out anywhere from around $1,100 and go up. Just depends on the options you put on. We don't charge any extra for lefty though.
Is black Limba heavier than mahogany?
Yes.
Eric is wondering, how do multi-piece necks hold up against graphite necks?
I don't have any experience with the graphite neck. I don't know.
Do you guys have a cheaper headless model?
Our least expensive headless is going to be the HD, the headless Delos.
What's your favorite guitar body shape and why?
I like the K series. It's one that I designed without showing anybody until I was done, completely done, and it's my favorite model. Yeah? Did you sell it?
Sure did.
Cool. Who's it going? Who's it going to?
A new customer in Montana.
In Montana. You know their name?
It's John Miller.
John Miller in Montana. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. Very, very cool. Look at that. Super sexy. A little jealous that you're in Montana. Be nice to have like a big old ranch or something. I don't know. I've always wanted like a place where I have like a stream and a pond and, can fish and, do all that fun stuff on my property. Maybe one of these days.
Rick is asking, what are your favorites of each 3-piece, 5-piece, and 7-piece neck options?
I like the stuff with the walnut. So walnut and purple heart. So really any of those. I am liking the walnut bloodwood for the 3-piece. Those are really cool too.
Is it possible to make a guitar with the same specs as a JB200 but a different finish and not a signature model?
Nope. Yeah, you can get a JB200 and change the finish on it. We can do that for you.
What's the most exotic wood you've ever made a guitar with?
Acrylic.
Brian is wondering, are you guys broadcasting from your showroom right now?
Nope. We are not in the showroom.
Alex is asking, how long do nipple frets last, and how much does it cost to get them dressed?
Totally depends on the player. I mean, guys can wear through a set of nickel frets in 2 years if they play 10 hours a day and really dig in. And you can have someone that can last the lifetime of the guitar. But refrets, I think, are about $400.
Have you thought about venturing into amp builds?
Nope.
Wesley is wondering, any interest in doing a Mustang Jaguar body shape?
Doesn't really interest me, to be honest with you.
Oscar is asking, is there an option where you can move the output jack of the Delos to the top on the HD?
No.
What's up with bird's eye necks?
We can't get enough of them, so we discontinued them. We do bird's eye fretboards, but not necks.
Ethan is wondering, is it worth it to get a multi-scale if I play in E standard most of the time?
Yes and no. I mean, multi-scale is still a very cool feel. I would say it becomes less necessary as you have a 6 and obviously in standard. Having said that, there's still a really cool sound and feel to them.
Is it possible to get polarities in a CS guitar?
I think we could do that. I don't see why not. I think the 3-way toggle will still do the switching. It'd be something you'd have to call and ask. It'd come down to the 3-way toggle.
Do you prefer neck through, set, or bolt-on necks?
Neck through?
Max is wondering, are there any plans for another solo contest?
I don't know. It's a question for Jesse and Brandon. I don't know. I mean, we've done one every year, so at some point I'm sure we'll do one.
By the way, we got 9 minutes left. I don't know if you want to try the...
9 minutes. You want me to spin the fucking wheel?
Dun dun dun.
All right, can they see that shit? Or do I need to hold it up?
It's small.
Yeah,
Alright.
hold it up.
Fuck. All right, this isn't my idea. I don't know what the hell it's going to land on, and we don't know how this is going to go. But I just do what I'm told around here. Even though, yeah.
I think it's got some good spin on it.
Damn, it's still going. We need the noise, though. Oh, fuck, story time. I knew that shit was going to happen, too. I literally called it. I'm like, watch, I'm going to spin it. We're going to have story time. Son of a bitch. I don't even know what to even to do here with story time. Guys, give me a topic or something, and maybe I can think of a cool story.
Funny Mark story.
A funny Mark story?
Because it's his birthday.
It's his birthday. Okay, my dad. A funny Mark story. Shit. I can't even think of, like, my dad does so much funny shit. I just can't think of it right now. So, I mean, not really a story, but my dad, he is like, any opportunity he gets, he will like to tell you, you know how much that used to cost? I used to be able to get a hamburger at In-N-Out for, I'm like, dude, here we go. Here we go. So, like, what I would throw back at him is like, oh, yeah? Why don't we look up what our guitars sold for in 1970? We can make them the same price. And he just stops talking. So not necessarily a story, but just something kind of funny about my dad. Just, you know, like looking at inflation and stuff. He is a crack up, though. Some of the things he does and says, and we just laugh, you know. He is always making us laugh, sometimes not on purpose. But he's such an engineer type. And when you go to talk to him, he's in the middle of doing something, you know, always. You go into his office. And this hasn't changed, right? This has been my whole life growing up. You go in and talk to him, and he's like, yeah, and he's working on something, yeah. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and do it then. Wait, what was that? Like, yo, I just told you this whole story. So I have to get his attention by like, Dad. He's like, huh? I'm like, I need you to stop what you're doing. Look at me, man. because he's such an engineer. He's so focused on what he's doing that he's kind of, telling you like, yeah, okay. But then he's not really paying attention. Yeah, I remember when we went to split, the company and go off on our own, and, really trying to do everything we could to try to kind of hold everything together, and it just wasn't gonna hold together. And it was finally time, and we're gonna go on our own. And my dad, just always being like, you think this is the right thing, and like, oh, you think the Kiesel thing's gonna go well, and just always being like concerned about that, and questioning. And I remember when we went to NAMM in 2015, and we were about to announce, that we were going to be our own brand. We're going to split off from Carvin, and I brought to the show that year about half the guitars were branded as Keysel already, and people were going crazy. What is this? What's that? Oh man, these are, all these crazy finishes, and we had the the Vader, and we won Best in Show with the Vader and just killed it. Had the Jason Becker, the Greg Howe, all these new models. Kiesel's, or, Carvin at the time is finally doing a bolt-on neck 24 fret guitar with Greg Howe and with Jason Becker, and it just went crazy. And I remember him then at the show, and we're like walking out of the show, and he was just so happy, just puts his arm around me and is like, this is going to go good, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to go good, man. And just having him like, trust that this is going to work, and I told my dad, I was like, look, I'm not about trying to do all this crazy stuff and be this huge guitar company. I just want to do what I know is the right thing for us. And if sales get cut in half, I'm good with that. Sales double, then obviously I'm really good with that. But him just kind of letting me really do what I wanted with all that, and not having too much say or feedback. So that was really cool. But just seeing him at NAMM in 2015 and how excited he was, and how many people were coming up, and we had it was funny, I think it was the next year, 2016, when we were in our own booth, Kiesel booth, and the head buyer of Guitar Center came into the booth and was like, on day 2, and was like, what is this? What is going on? I have got to get these guitars in our store. And my dad just looked at him and says, my son's never going to let that happen. I'm sorry. And he goes, well, why? Can I talk to him? Can I, meet him and stuff? My dad's like, there's just no point. I know my son. It's not happening. He's like, well, I can guarantee you, a couple $1 million in orders. And my dad's like, you literally don't have enough money. And the guy says, well, I don't understand. He's like, well, we were Carvin. And he's like, oh, okay, I get it. It's just kind of funny, like a couple stories like that. Yeah. Zach, what about a funny grandpa story? You got a funny one?
I can think of the paintball one.
Oh, shit. That was funny. So when I was a kid, I had a paintball gun. And I don't know, I was probably like 13 or something. And we lived by a lake. And we were down riding our mountain bikes. I used to ride with my dad a lot. And, me and my dad are close and stuff. And so I had my paintball gun with me. And I had just gotten it. It's right after Christmas. This is cold here. Not super cold, but it's cold. My dad's like, hey, why don't you shoot me with it? And I want to see what it feels like. So I'm like, okay. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm dying, Zach. That's a good one. I'm starting to tear up. It's funny. So he gets on his bike and he's riding away. And I start shooting him. I must have shot him 10 times. Oh, God, it was so funny. He's just like, ow, 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 stop. Oh, that's a good one. Oh. What about you, Zach? Do you have a good Mark story?
The waterbed one?
That's a good one, too. So my dad, when they were younger, I think my mom at the time was pregnant with me, or maybe right before they got pregnant with me. And my dad is sitting on the waterbed, and my mom is sewing. She's like knitting, and my dad had smoked a joint, So he's sitting there, and he's like, he pulls a pin out of the pin cushion, and they're watching TV or whatever. I think my mom was pregnant with me, and my dad starts pushing the fucking pin into the waterbed, literally into the waterbed, and my mom is sitting there, and she was pregnant with me because she was, heavier. My mom's only at the time was only 105 pounds, but she's pregnant with me. So she's got a lot of weight in one little area. So it's filling up where she's sitting. She's like, what the hell's going on? Why is the bed all wet? And my dad's like, oh. And my mom's like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, I don't know. It felt good. He just kept pushing a pen into the waterbed, man.
It felt good.
Yeah, right?
It's amazing.
What a stoner thing to do, right? It's crazy.
He says that he wasn't.
He's like, I wasn't high. My mom's like, yes, you were. Oh, it was good.
Man, that's a good story.
Yeah, and I think we're out of time, but that good times. That was actually funny, the story time. Zach had better stories than me. Sometimes when you sit over here and, you're talking and stuff, it's hard to think of something. You have to be, I guess, when you're over here on this end of the camera, and those of you guys that maybe have done some of your own lives and stuff, it's sometimes hard to think in the moment. And so, when I answer you guys, everything is so ingrained because I do this, right? I mean, I'm not thinking of what to say to you guys. I'm able to say it because I know it, And so, with the story time, I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be able to think of anything. And I needed, obviously Zach to have some key ones for me. But anyhow, happy birthday to my dad. Awesome guy. Love you, Dad. I'm sure you're not watching this, but that's okay. My dad's not into the whole YouTube and social media and all that. But definitely an amazing guy. Couldn't have asked for a better dad. Done so much for me, so much for you guys, really. Sometimes I get some credit around here, but really it's all about my dad. Without him, there would have never been an opportunity for me to do what I do. And I'm just so thankful for him.